Welcome back, everybody, to AI Debates. I am so excited for our deep dive today on AI and surveillance.
Yeah.
This stuff is everywhere, right? Like our phones
Yeah.
to the cities that we live in.
It's amazing.
And it really does raise the question of,
Yeah. Security.
whose security do we want
Yeah.
at the risk of our privacy?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think, one of the things that
Yeah.
is interesting is we have some examples where AI surveillance
Right.
has actually directly led to a drop
Right.
in certain types of crime. Like, we were talking about before the show, those armed robberies.
Absolutely.
So it does make you think okay,
it does it.
fewer victims,
Right.
potentially less fear in a community, but to get those results,
Yeah.
do we have to, compromise our privacy?
It's the classic
The line.
dilemma, isn't it? The age-old struggle
Yeah.
between our desire to be safe and our desire to be free.
And AI surveillance really puts those two things, right at odds with each other.
Yeah. And there are some strong voices on both sides of this.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, you have,
Yeah.
obviously a lot of law enforcement agencies
Sure.
and security experts
Right.
who are saying, like, listen, this is the benefit. This is what we need
Totally.
to help prevent crime.
Prevent crime.
And they're saying it's almost like having an extra set of eyes everywhere
Right.
that can sort of see things.
Right.
And
Predict and
prevent before they even happen.
Yeah, and they point to specific cases where AI has helped, identify suspects,
Right.
track down stolen goods, even prevent attacks
Yeah.
from happening.
Yeah, you can see that.
So it's not even just about catching the bad guys
Right.
after the fact, but
Stopping it.
stopping it before it even happens.
Yeah.
Which I can see in cities where you're dealing with
Right.
a lot of crime, how appealing that would be.
Oh, absolutely.
But what about the
Well-
other side? What about
Well, that's where the concerns.
the concerns come in? And some people would say that we're sleepwalking into a surveillance state.
Right.
That this technology, if it's not properly regulated,
Yeah.
could really erode our privacy
Right.
and lead to a society where we're constantly being watched and judged. And it's not even just about Big Brother watching our every move.
Yeah.
It's the potential for misuse of this data.
Yeah.
Facial recognition being used to track individuals without their consent, or algorithms that unfairly target certain groups based on biased data sets.
Yeah. And I think we were talking about
Which is happening.
this before.
Yeah,
Some cities have already banned the use of facial recognition technology
they have,
because of these concerns.
because of the bias, the potential for misuse. It's a huge issue.
And then there's that whole other thing about
The chilling effect, on free speech and behavior.
yeah.
If you know you're being watched all the time, are you really going to express yourself freely? Are you really going to, participate in protests?
Right.
Are you really going to just live your life without fear of being monitored and judged?
It's like that whole thing.
Right.
If you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear.
Right, but everybody has something.
Everybody has something they want
They want to keep private.
to keep private.
Right.
And even if you're not doing anything wrong,
Yeah.
the idea of just being constantly surveilled
Right.
is
It can feel very
invasive.
unsettling.
Invasive and unsettling.
Yeah.
It really is a dilemma.
It's a tough one.
It is. And it seems like the public is pretty divided on this.
Yeah.
We see this debate playing out online. You see the hashtag privacy versus security trending on social media.
Right. Some people saying, you know what, this is how we stay safe.
Right.
Other people saying this is a slippery slope to authoritarianism.
Totally.
We're giving up our freedoms.
Yeah. So where do you stand?
Yeah, where do you stand?
Are you team security or team privacy, or is there a middle ground?
Right. Is there a way to find some kind of balance?
Yeah.
Well, that's what we're going to explore, because it's not a simple either-or proposition.
Okay.
There are nuances to this debate.
I'm intrigued. Let's dive in.
It's interesting. This whole debate around AI surveillance, it's not just a philosophical one.
Right.
It's playing out in the real world. Different countries are taking vastly different approaches.
Yeah, like we were saying before about how some cities are banning facial recognition.
Exactly.
What's that look like?
Yeah.
Globally, are there countries that are no, we're good with that?
Yeah, you look at Europe, for example.
Okay.
They've really doubled down on data privacy with regulations like GDPR,
Yeah.
essentially saying individuals have the right to control their own data.
Right.
Companies can't just use it however they want.
So they're really prioritizing
Yeah,
the privacy side of things.
the privacy side. And that makes sense,
Yeah.
given their history.
Right. They've seen what happens
They've seen...
when governments have unchecked power
Right.
to surveil their citizens.
Exactly. But then you have places like, say,
Yeah.
Singapore.
Okay.
They've implemented pretty extensive surveillance systems,
Okay.
arguing that it's essential for maintaining security and social order.
Right.
And their citizens seem to be largely okay with that trade-off.
Wow. So it's like two opposite
Two opposites.
ends of the spectrum,
Ends of the spectrum.
which makes you wonder, how are we going to navigate this
Right.
as AI
That
becomes
becomes more prevalent.
even more prevalent?
Globally, right.
Yeah.
It's not just about individual countries anymore. You know, think about the implications for international travel data sharing, global trade.
Yeah.
We're going to need some serious international cooperation
Yeah.
to figure out how to manage AI surveillance in a
Mhm.
way that respects
Yeah.
everyone's rights and interests.
Okay. So that's like the macro view.
Right.
But zooming back in
Yeah.
on the
That
individual,
individual.
you were saying earlier that AI surveillance is already impacting our lives,
Oh, absolutely.
even if we don't realize it.
Even if we don't realize it.
Can you give me some concrete?
Examples. Think about those targeted ads
Okay.
that you see online.
Right.
They're not magic.
Yeah.
They're based on data collected
Yeah.
about your browsing habits,
Mhm.
your purchases,
Yeah.
your social media activity.
Right.
AI is analyzing that data
Okay.
to predict what you're interested in
Right.
and then serve up ads
Yeah.
that are more likely to get your attention.
Wow. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is AI surveillance
That is AI surveillance.
in action, even if it's not like
Like
a
with the
dramatic.
fake.
Yeah, it's like facial recognition cameras,
Right.
but it's like this subtle form.
It is a manipulation.
It is a form of manipulation.
Almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
influencing your choices
Absolutely.
without you even realizing it.
And when you think about it that way,
Kind of creepy
it can be a little creepy,
when you think about it that way.
especially when you consider the potential
Right.
for this to be used for more nefarious purposes.
Right.
What if instead of targeted ads,
Yeah.
AI is being used to spread misinformation
Oh.
or manipulate people's political opinions?
Okay, now that's starting to feel like a Black Mirror episode.
Right.
So what can we do about it?
Yeah. What can we do about it? That's the question.
Because this technology is evolving so rapidly.
It is.
Feels like we're always playing catch up.
It is a fast-moving target,
Yeah.
but that doesn't mean we're powerless.
Okay.
The first step is awareness.
The more we understand how AI surveillance works,
Right.
the better equipped we are
Yeah.
to make informed choices
Okay.
about how we interact with it.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is power.
What else can we do besides just being aware?
You got to have these conversations.
Sure.
Talk to your friends and family about your concerns.
Yeah.
Share articles and resources.
Yeah.
The more people understand the
Yeah.
potential implications of AI surveillance,
Mhm.
the more likely we are to demand responsible development
Right.
and use of this technology.
Because this isn't just a tech issue, it's a societal issue.
It is a societal issue.
We need to decide what kind of future we want to live in.
Exactly.
Do we want a world where privacy is essentially extinct,
Right.
where we're constantly being monitored and judged by algorithms?
Right.
Or can we find a way to harness the power of AI
Right.
while still protecting our fundamental rights?
Those are the questions that each individual has to grapple with. You know, it's not about being pro-AI or anti-AI.
Right.
It's about understanding the complexities of this technology.
Right.
And making informed choices about how we want it to be used.
I don't know about you, but I feel like we're kind of at a crossroads here
Yeah,
where AI is advancing so rapidly
it is.
and we're still like figuring out
Yeah, we're in uncharted territory.
how to manage this.
There's no playbook for this.
But what can we do if I'm listening to this and I'm like
Yeah,
feeling a little
overwhelmed. I get it.
Where do I even begin
Yeah.
to make a difference?
Well, first of all, it's understandable to feel overwhelmed, but remember, your voice matters.
Okay.
And staying informed is crucial.
Right.
There are fantastic organizations out there,
Yeah.
like, at AI for the People,
Okay.
who are dedicated to promoting responsible AI development
Right.
and raising awareness about these issues.
Okay.
Follow them,
Learn.
learn from them, share their insights,
So that's a good starting point.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm following AI for the people.
Yeah.
I'm having conversations with, my family and friends about this stuff. But what about, like, the bigger picture?
Yeah.
Are there any steps being taken
Yeah.
to, like, address this on, like, a policy level?
Absolutely. We're seeing a lot of movement in that area.
Okay.
As we talked about earlier, Europe has already implemented GDPR,
Right.
which has kind of become a model for data privacy regulations around the world.
Okay.
And other countries are starting to follow suit,
Okay.
recognizing that we need
Yeah.
clear rules and guidelines
Yeah.
for how AI can be used.
That's encouraging.
Yeah.
It sounds like there's a growing recognition that we can't just, like, let the tech industry
Right.
dictate the terms of this debate.
We can't let them run wild.
Yeah, we need
And
governments
policymakers
to step up.
to step up and ensure that AI is developed and used in a way that benefits society as a whole.
Right. Not just a select few.
Not just a select few, exactly.
Yeah. And it's not just about regulations.
Right.
But, like, fostering a culture of,
Ethical AI development.
ethical AI development.
You need to be asking
Like, asking the tough questions.
the tough questions about the
Right.
potential consequences.
Yeah, before things get out of hand.
Before they're widely deployed,
Right.
we need to ensure that these systems are designed
Yeah.
with fairness, transparency, and accountability in mind.
So it's about shifting our mindset from, like, move fast and break things to, like, move thoughtfully and build things that serve humanity.
I love that. That's a great way to put it.
Yeah.
We need to be proactive, not reactive.
Right.
We need to shape the future of AI,
Yeah.
not let it shape us.
Well, this has been a really insightful
It has been.
deep dive.
Yeah.
You've given me a lot to think about.
And
I feel like way more informed now
I'm glad.
about all this.
I'm glad to hear that. And remember, this conversation is just beginning.
Right.
The more we engage in these discussions,
Yeah.
the better equipped we'll be to create a future
Yeah.
where AI is a force for good.
Thanks for joining us today.
Of course.
We encourage you to continue exploring this topic.
Yes.
And to make your voice heard
Absolutely. Your voice matters.
in this crucial debate.
It does.
Until next time, keep learning,
Keep learning.
keep questioning,
Keep questioning.
and keep the conversation going.
And keep talking.
This deep dive was curated just for you.